Welcome to another episode of Nerd Age. This is the show where we talk about everything nerdy. My name is Mick. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Josh.
What's up?
Corey.
100.
And Jonah.
Woohoo!
Welcome to the show, guys. It's our 100th episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us through all of these episodes, through these, 2 years or something?
What a milestone, guys.
It's been great. Hope there's 100,000 more to come. So,
we got a really cool Crystal made us a really sweet 100th episode.
Yeah, on
Little,
YouTube you'll be able to see
drawing
it. I'll put the full size version of
Nice.
it up.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So thanks, Crystal.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Crystal.
Thank you, Crystal. That's really cool.
Yeah. So to start off the episode, we're going to jump into some Mario, Super Mario Bros. Movie. Our review of it. We're going to do some non-spoiler stuff and then go into spoiler talk. So hopefully you've seen the movie. And here we go.
Hey,
Let's go.
let's go.
The biggest opening ever for an animated movie in the history of history and the world. Super Mario Brothers. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, what was the
Nintendo,
number?
baby. We're back on top.
What was the number?
It's like
What is that,
132
3?
or something like that.
Well, no, like worldwide was like 377 or something like
that's
that,
it.
which beat
sorry.
out 356 or something like that, which was Frozen.
Toy Story?
Frozen
Oh,
2,
Frozen.
I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome.
What's in that cup over there?
It's the mango. I think I'm allergic. my throat's closing off.
Wow, that's crazy. And that's a lot. A lot of
Yeah.
money. I feel like Mario has a really wide-reaching audience.
Oh yeah, like the fact that, I mean, anywhere in the world, you know who Mario is.
Yeah. He's like the face of Nintendo, right? Like he's considered their Mickey Mouse.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, who would be second? Like
Luigi.
Seriously. Maybe Bowser, but yeah,
maybe
probably
Peach.
Luigi. Maybe, yeah.
You'd go probably like 4 or 5 deep, and then you'd get
then
like your Zeldas,
different
Yeah,
characters.
Donkey Kong. and
Zelda's
stuff like
pretty,
that.
or Link is probably pretty close
Yeah.
up there, but yeah. So did everyone see it? Did you see it, Mick?
Yes, I did.
Ah,
We're back. We're back on track, baby.
Yeah.
For the 100th episode, all 4 of us saw the movie.
that's good. Yeah, I went downtown, and I went with my buddy and his kid. He's like 3, I think. And it was
Your
just
buddy?
Huh?
Your buddy?
Yeah, he's my buddy. Yeah, my little buddy. And his kid, so that's weird. Anyway, I went downtown to watch it, and it was just a super fun watch. I was just very surprised at kind of how, I guess, respectful of the IP. I mean, obviously Nintendo's like integral, like they're very integrated into the development of this, obviously, but it just felt really consistent from the feel of Mario in general, which is kind of hard to do when there's not a lot of story in Mario, let's be honest. But they kind of went the Mario Galaxy route, kind of, but then they also like invented kind of like a origin story, and it feels like that's what they're kind of sticking to.
Yeah.
Like the official canon or the new canon of Mario and his brother Luigi. But yeah, it was really funny. The music was really good in my opinion. I loved how they kind of mixed the original soundtracks with like orchestral things that fit the scene better. Like they didn't just do just the straight rip. They would do different iterations of it and sound effects, like so many little details that were just so great. Sound effects and just little sign references, like little things in the background that you're just like,
there's so much.
if you know
my
Nintendo,
gosh.
you're just like, oh my gosh, this. But yeah, I loved their take on it. It was cool to give Princess Peach time to shine. That was really cool. And yeah, I think it was really fun. It was a super fun watch. If you have kids, take them. It's super fun.
Yeah, it was. I went with my family, obviously. Maya loved it. Madison kind of just walked around. She's 2, so. But it was. I really enjoyed it. I had a smile on my face the whole time, just seeing the references, like you said. Every time there was like little things of music that I'm like, oh, that's from this part of the game, or that's from that. So it's just for if you're a Nintendo fan, if you're a Mario fan, There's just so much things to really enjoy. But at the same time, even so, the critic scores were really bad for it.
48%. Yeah.
And so I was like, I read a few of the reviews and was reading some of the stuff, and a lot of them,
shallow story. It's like it's a kid's show.
Well,
what do you expect?
But that was one thing that I was like, I actually like. There's things that happen that I was like, man, that was actually really well done. I don't know why they said it was really shallow, because obviously the context between Mario and Luigi and fighting for one another. I thought there was some really good moments in that really worked for me. That I was like, that's really good. So for me, not only was it enjoyable as far as like you said, the humor and the Easter eggs and all that kind of stuff, but I thought the moments they wanted to land to make you feel something, even though they were like pretty quick, really worked for me. So I don't know. I just thought I had a lot of fun with the movie. I thought the voice acting Chris Pratt was really good. I like what they did at the beginning of the movie where there's a different voice. We'll talk about more in spoilers, but there's a different voice, and then they explain why has the commercial. So I just thought that was kind of really cool. And again, stuff we talked about. You'd get annoyed with the Mario voice if it was that the whole movie. So Chris Pratt's voice really worked really well for me. So I really enjoyed it. There's not much more I can say without spoiling. So what did you guys think?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm in the same boat. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I wasn't going in expecting like some deep like plot that's going to blow my mind. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Bowser might be a good guy.
Yeah.
Like I can level with him, man.
Yeah.
Like nothing like that. No
I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
They're introducing us to the Mushroom Kingdom, and I was just along for the ride the whole way. I was kind of in a similar boat, like smile on my face the whole time. Every little sound or every little thing that happened, I was like, oh, that's funny that they did that. Oh, that's awesome. It's a super enjoyable movie, especially if you like Nintendo or, love Nintendo or are somewhat aware of Nintendo at all. Like there's plenty of little things in there for you to enjoy. And the story was fun. I mean, I thought it was a quick movie, like
hour and a half. So it's a pretty short, even animated movies are longer than that these days, but yeah, it went along quickly. I don't really have any complaints about it. I really enjoyed it. I do agree the voice acting was good. I thought Chris Pratt was good. Everyone else I thought did a good job. Bowser I thought was really awesome.
That opening scene that's in the trailer is just so good. Yeah, even when we watched it again like live, it was just like, it's so good.
Yeah.
The penguins, dude. Yeah. No.
But
so funny.
Just a really cool introduction to the Nintendo verse, I guess. Like even from the very beginning when they had the Mario and Luigi running through, and then the Nintendo logo popped up, I was like, okay, that's awesome. I want to see more Nintendo movies. Like
it feels right. Like the way they did it felt very fitting to the brand and what it is.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. Even though I'm probably the least Nintendo guy here on the show, I still really enjoyed it. It's definitely, targeted for everybody. I think adults could still get a lot of enjoyment out of this movie, but definitely the kids too. But like you guys said, the voice acting was great. I mean, Chris Pratt was like, he sounded like Mario in the way you wanted him to sound like Mario. It wasn't distracting at all. It was just great. Charlie Day was hilarious as Luigi.
Yeah.
I wish we got more of him. He wasn't in it that much, but the stuff that we did get with him was really funny. And like you said, the chemistry and like kind of the heart of the movie of the brothers just sticking together I thought it came across really well. And I wasn't really expecting that level of kind of like, oh, this is like a cool emotional story that they're telling. So that was a lot of fun. And yeah, I mean, the visuals were just great. I mean, it's similar to a bunch of the 3D movies we get nowadays, but it was just so stylized and I think so just taken care of so well because Nintendo was so involved with it that like nothing they did was like, half done or like on accident. Like every single thing
or misrepresented.
Every single thing in there, it felt like it was like purposely done and done with passion and like people who actually love this character and the characters. So yeah, I'm glad it's doing really well. I hope it keeps making millions and millions. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
I don't think
So-
there's much more to talk about.
What do you guys?
As far as
what do you rate it, Jonah? I swear.
Oh, let's
ready
get
for
ready.
this?
Let's get here it comes.
Corey's not going to like this.
Bup, 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 bup.
I'm actually going 9.5 Tanuki suits.
What a coward. What a coward.
9.5 Tanuki suits.
Respect, my friend. I respect you for that. Choop? Oh, he's holding a 20 in his mouth
I
right
mean,
now.
that's the thing. It's like there's not much I don't have many complaints about it. I'll give it a 9.3
Wow.
Goombas.
That's really good. Really, really good.
I'll give it 9 Princess Peaches.
Well, it cracked the nines for Sea
I'm
Dog.
always the low guy. No, it was good. I think one of the problems with the Rotten Tomatoes stuff is they like take it as the full breadth of cinema, and they like put it in this cookie cutter, and they're like, does it fill out the cookie cutter of everything we asked for a movie to be? And that's why they have a 48%
Yeah.
or whatever, right? But no, I'm going to take into account that it's a kids movie. And for a kids movie, I think it's super freaking good. And I think it pairs really well that you have parents who grew up with Mario, and then they also show their kids, here's Mario Maker or whatever. And they're like, oh, this is super fun. Or like, I got Derek's kid a little Mario Kart, and I played Mario Kart with him one time. And so that connection is super cool and meaningful. So yeah, I think it'll break a 9. I think it's a 9.1.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
All nines around.
Nines all around.
Yeah. Got to give space for Mario Bros. 2. You know?
Yeah.
You know, I'm ready to be
That is
wow.
true.
And then the Zelda movie, the Star Fox movie, and then the Super Smash Bros. Crossover. event.
Exactly. The end game of Mario.
That's right.
I mean, pretty legit.
That's what I could get behind.
That's
That'd be
right.
awesome.
Well, we're going to go into spoilers now. So if you haven't watched it, which I'm sure most people have with the box office it's made, but if you haven't, go watch it, come back. We're talking spoilers. So I want to go in straight to the reason, because when we talked before, I gave it a higher score. And so I'm going to tell you the reason why it's not a higher score, even though it's 9.5.
What'd you give it before?
I gave it a 9.8.
Okay.
I thought you said 10.
No, I said
put-
you said
9.8.
perfect
He wanted
movie.
to blow my brains
said
out with a
9.8.
10, and he did. And I was like, ah! He's like, I was just kidding, 9.8. But then he went to 9.5.
The reason is I feel like I loved the music they used that was Nintendo score, and I feel like some of the music they used that was real world
Like
music,
pop music.
There was,
I felt like they could have used
I
other
need a
stuff.
hero.
Yeah,
And then Take On Me, I think, was also part of
yeah.
it.
So
and then there's one
the sound.
other.
I was listening to the soundtrack, and because might get it on vinyl, why not?
As you do.
But there's a track on the soundtrack that is like 3 Donkey Kong tracks mixed together, and someone put it to the scene where they use Take On Me, and they're like, this song fits perfectly with that whole scene. So they're like, it must have been a last minute change because they wrote the song for it.
Oh, and they didn't use it?
And they didn't use it because they used Take On Me. And so the song's not in the movie, but it's on the soundtrack. And the song is awesome because it has like the mix of the Donkey Kong, like, it's so good. And I was like, so
Is
that's
that,
my,
that jungle? Like,
yeah, it has a dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. It's really cool.
Dang.
And so I'm like, man, they should have used that. So that's why that would be my negative that pulled it down, is they have so much great music to use.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack, like you said, was really good because it was Nintendo, but mixed with like an actual orchestra and sounded really good. And to then throw those songs in there, I was just like, ah. And they were also very generic songs.
There was one other song that was a Guardians of the Galaxy
was,
song.
yeah.
And I was like, no!
It played at like the very end, right?
It's Chris Pratt, no! Like I got taken out of the movie just because of
Yeah.
that sound link. And I was like, I'm watching Guardians of the Galaxy right now. Ah, darn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah,
that was
it's
one
honest-
of my negatives.
Yeah, it's honestly probably my biggest complaint about the movie, and it's still a small thing, but it is like something that was kind of distracting looking back at
Yeah.
it, because like you said, Nintendo has such great original music already, so it just didn't seem like a movie that was necessary to have that type of stuff.
And to be fair, 80% was Nintendo music. Like,
Yes, it was
maybe
just-
even like
yeah.
85.
There was
but
only like
I
3.
think it was like 3, maybe 4. But
And,
yeah, they weren't
and
even full cuts.
honestly, the "Take on Me" song I thought worked fine in the movie when I watched
I
it.
think it fit, yeah.
But now that I heard the other song, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, they should have used that. So it's kind of like in retrospect. In the moment, I was like, oh, this works. And then after listening to that song, I was like, oh, they should have put that. So I guess it's kind of not fair to be like bring it down that way, but that's kind of how it worked for me.
I felt like the "I Need a Hero" was a bit of a lazy song choice.
Yeah.
Because we've heard it so many times in movies.
Well, and even in like it's in Shrek. It's
Yeah.
in
Yeah, but it's in a million other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the song
I
choices.
felt
they-
lazy on that one.
Should have
Yeah.
played the Nickelback one. I need a hero to save me.
That's the Spider-Man. The Spider-Man one.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Way better, right? Right, guys? Right?
Yeah, I should have heard that one would have been better.
Sure.
So yeah, other than that, and I think that's one of my pet peeves in movies in general is when they use real world music in the movies. I'm just like, you don't need to do that. You know, like they. What's the movie? We did Black Adam.
Black Adam
you
did
know, with
it,
Paint It
yeah.
Black and all that kind. Like a lot of
Doesn't Enter the Spider-Verse stuff, don't they use like
they was hip hop
like-
and stuff.
like yeah, but you're saying like you don't well that I mean that's
It's
popular.
still real.
I don't like
Yeah.
when they use like real songs. Like I'd rather
I'm sorry.
I'd rather they make a song that's in movie than do a famous song that's like, oh, this is a Kanye song that's gonna be played.
I mean they use like Post Malone music and
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
Like,
think it
He
depends.
wrote that for the. Didn't he write that
I
for the
don't know if
movie?
he did.
No.
Maybe he did.
It depends though, because that like
Sunflower?
that is kind of integral to like part of Miles Morales' character.
It came out before the
so
movie,
if
it might have been.
if it fits into like the narrative or a character trait of somebody, I think it would work better. But specifically in the Mario movie, I don't think that there was really like a a narrative reason to have those type of songs in it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, especially if it's a song that everyone knows. You know, I mean, it's like a generic song, like "Oh, Take on Me." I've heard that a billion times.
Right.
We just heard it in the Last of Us show.
Yeah. Or like
Couple months ago.
in the
Yeah.
Guardians movies, there's specifically reasons why there's pop music in there, and it fits with like it or not. There's a
Hate it.
narrative reason why those songs are in
Stay
there.
away from it, James Gunn. Stay away from Mario.
where the
He's getting his hands on everything.
yeah. Yeah, I think that was one of my negatives. The other negative that I had was Donkey Kong, Seth Rogen. For me personally, I hated that because it wasn't even like hidden within other things. It was like almost like the whole movie went silent. Donkey Kong then took the whole frame. Like I have this frame stuck in my head because I hated it, and he's like or whatever you did, and I was like, oh my gosh, stop! That
got
Seth Rogen. I forgot.
That got a big laugh in my theater. I don't know
I
about
hate it.
you guys.
It was
Everybody
silent.
hot at that.
I'm a little shocked that I'm not on that.
Yeah, me
I
too.
hate Seth Rogen.
Yeah, I don't like
And
it.
he didn't bother me as Donkey Kong for some reason. Maybe it's because I was so
Yeah, I think
much
you're a
enjoying
bit-
the Mario stuff that
Yeah. You're a
maybe
bit
if I
biased. You're a
rewatch
bit
it, I'll be like, eh. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm not. He was a not annoying. It just took me out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I remember Seth Rogen. Oh yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like the way that they also wrote Donkey Kong was like this big like idiot, and it was okay, but I felt like also they went a little overboard on it. But that's just me. It's also for just comedy's sake,
Right.
so it's fine. But Donkey Kong is a hero in my eyes from my childhood. So having Seth Rogen play him, I was like,
you need a Denzel to play
Yeah,
Donkey
Donkey
Kong
Kong.
or something.
Now
no, JD from Scrubs.
that would be pretty good. Yeah. So question for again, I'm not like the biggest Nintendo person. In the movie, they're like in the Mushroom Kingdom, right? Mm-hmm. But there's also Donkey Kong and like the jungle.
And then there's Bowser Land.
Are in like the games? Are they all in like one kind of realm thing, or is that just kind of special for the movie?
Not in Mario games. Like as far as like your typical
Like
Mario
you can't
game.
like as Mario go walking far enough and you'll meet Donkey
So
Kong
that's
somewhere.
Donkey Kong is the only one that was kind of like the gray area. Like that doesn't happen in a
Right.
Mario game.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But Bowser exists in his own little world.
Right.
Yeah.
Yoshi has its own island.
Yeah.
And there's like the, ice place, the desert place.
Yeah.
You go to different worlds.
But yeah, so that was the
Okay.
yeah, I
Because
guess.
they really almost made it seem like it could just be like the Nintendo world. I know they talked about like
I think it fits more in like it fits more in like the Smash Bros.
yeah.
world as far as like Donkey Kong's, because they have cutscenes in the Smash Bros. Games, where it's like Donkey Kong's and King K. Rool comes through and stuff. So they're all kind of, but they're trophies. It's like it's a weird thing.
See, I thought of it more like Mario Galaxies, where it's like he can travel to different galaxies.
They even kind of say it that way, right?
Yeah, because he's technically from the real world, and then they go back to the real world, and so like in Mario Galaxy that happens, right? Or a version of it, I guess.
And Toad says like there's so many galaxies out there.
Yeah, so and they had like the little blue star guy. That guy's great. I love that
Star
guy.
guy.
He got a little old. He got a little old at like the end, but I loved him. I loved like 90% of what he did.
Is that the guy with? Is it Rosalina?
Rosalina?
So I think
Well,
technically it's not him, but it
no.
looks a lot like this
the
that
same
similar
type of
character.
thing.
So
Okay.
He's
people
like
are
the
saying
same-
it looks like a I can't remember what they're called.
Race,
Yeah.
like the same species or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, he was pretty funny. I thought the stuff like tying it into the real world was actually pretty interesting. How they came
You could
from
mess that up pretty good.
Yeah, how they came from that angle of like, oh, they're just plumbers in the real world and they're trying to save Brooklyn and stuff like that. But
We're the Mario
I really enjoyed that. That
That's such a
intro.
good song.
Even the whole thing with them fixing the sink in the apartment and the dog and stuff like that. All that stuff was like, I actually really enjoyed it. And
Even when they go home with his family.
with the family, yeah.
Like that was interesting to me too.
Did they ever mention what their last name was? Did they ever say Mario?
I don't think they did.
Okay. Because that's one of the things I was trying to look out for, but I never caught any
Yeah.
of it.
I didn't catch it if they
Because
did.
technically that's supposed to be canon, is that his last name's Mario.
Mario, yeah.
Because they're the Mario brothers. Isn't that weird? So his name's
Mario.
Mario. Yeah. Anyway, I was just looking out to see if they'd confirmed that it was canon.
Yeah.
Because it's such a funny, weird
Yeah.
detail that maybe they didn't think through as much. But there were so many awesome little details, like from when they were jumping, and then like he was doing the training. He even did like a ground pound.
Yeah.
They had all sorts of sound effects, like the old school like skid sound when he changed directions really fast, which happens in games where he skids. It has a sound effect, and then he goes again. They also included a bunch of different power ups,
Yeah.
like the Tanuki suit. Your favorite, the cat suit.
That's right. Speaking of sounds and little things, when they're doing the Mario Kart Rainbow Road, and he kind of does the like the slide.
Yeah.
But I
slide
can
boost.
imagine myself doing, because he does like the slide boost, and then he does the other way and gets the other boost. I'm like, I do that all the
He
time
goes-
in Mario Kart.
He goes red, blue,
Yeah.
and then it turned purple or whatever, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, he hit it!" Like all those like visual cues
Yeah, that
are
was really
so
cool.
good.
Yeah. Even just them like selecting their carts and like
like,
choosing the different ones. They're like, man, it's like
That was
playing
a
Mario
cool.
Kart.
Those the DK guys are sick. Those guys are so
They're overpowered.
yeah. They got like rockets and stuff. It's
pretty
crazy.
sick.
Yeah, I think for me the other big thing that I really enjoyed was Bowser. Just throughout the whole
Yeah.
thing, he was he was a good villain because he was like menacing as you can be as a giant dinosaur in a cartoon, but also like pretty funny in the stuff he was doing. I really like the scene where they're at the piano. And they're like,
Just pee.
and they're just like having
Play
a
with me.
conversation. Yeah,
That was funny. Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think they wrote Bowser really well. I think Jack Black did a great job. And I think a challenge was because the story of Mario isn't
Yeah.
interesting. It's just he kidnapped Princess Peach and Mario has to go save him. And then they made like a reference to like every time he'd go to a castle, she'd be in a different one in the games. And they made a reference to it in the movie. I thought that was really funny. But they had to kind of, how did they make Princess Peach interesting? and a core part of this story. And I think they did a really good job of kind of giving her this like the background of like how she became Princess Peach.
Yeah,
and,
that was
like,
cool.
That was super cool, and I thought it fit really well. I thought the toads were super cool. I thought there might be like annoying or something, but I really liked what's his name, Peel or Key? What?
It was Key.
It's
Key?
key. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Key did a really good job.
I like the toad with the deep voice.
With the glasses.
yeah.
No,
We're counting on you.
counting on you.
That was funny.
What I read an article or I saw kind of talking about Nintendo, what they told them they wanted, and they said they wanted a simple, like really quick story. They're like, because Mario games don't really have story, we want it to feel like a game. So that really, it makes sense when you had people complaining about, oh, it's not deep, but I was like, well, it feels like this what happens in a Mario movie, in a Mario game. It's always like Bowser shows up and then Mario jumps in a tube and then you go to the different world. Like that's what it was.
Yeah.
But I do think, like back to what I said earlier, was the moments that it really hit with me, the moments with Luigi and Mario, like their connection they had. And how Mario always defends Luigi. I thought that was really cool. I love the scene where they're like babies.
Mario and baby Luigi.
Baby Mario, baby Luigi.
That was so
like,
good.
That's what we look like on the poster. We look like Baby Mario.
Yeah, and so that scene was really good. I liked how that was just kind of just really quick, but it was well done.
Was it sand or blocks or something? What was it?
Yeah, he broke the
Sandcastle?
blocks.
Blocks, yeah.
And so to me, that
great.
really worked. And even going to the end there, then when Luigi, he's a coward, he's scared of everything, and then he comes in, defends Mario. Like it worked for me really well, and it wasn't like, oh, let's have a bunch of scenes about it. It was like, no, let's just have kind of these quick scenes, but they landed really well for me. So I really liked that about it. It just felt like a story about two brothers, where normally it's about Mario saving Peach, and I really liked how they switched it up, where it was Mario trying to save his brother. I thought that really worked.
Man, and I don't know about you guys, but I've accidentally pulled my mustache hair out so many times. I think I want to talk too. That hurts a lot. That's a good intimidation technique.
It's true. I also really like the scene where it's kind of like Luigi's Mansion, where Luigi's running away from the.
Even his flashlight is dying.
But I love when he goes. I don't know. I laughed at this, and I probably shouldn't have as much, but I just loved it. But when he like closed the door and then like. He like stops and like all the shy guys are behind him and he just screams. I laughed like really hard on that.
I was just sitting there looking at little Noah. He's 3 years old and he's like, these zombies are coming at him, like grabbing him. They're getting like blazed and or someone got burnt and they turn into one of those zombie guys. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many things. I was like, I didn't think about that. And then the Shy Guys popped up. I'm like, I bet this kid's gonna have a nightmare tonight, but it's gonna be worth it. But no, I love the nod to it because the flashlight and everything, and he happened to have all the tools with him, and it kind of almost felt like he had the bag, with him for the Luigi's Mansion, and it just felt like the games.
Yep.
I guess that's what I was telling Derek after the movie. I was like, it felt like you're playing a game. It's fun. And you're like trying to beat the different levels. And I love how creative they were, even with the construction site scene.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Where he's going above, Luigi's walking through the cement.
Yeah.
They're going through the side scroller situation that felt it was just so like positive and refreshing. It was just like a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I think it was just the music and just Seth Rogen. I just wasn't as huge of a fan of, and it was just a great watch. Yeah.
What do you guys think? Obviously, the end credit scene is Yoshi, and they've talked about that Yoshi will be a big part of the next movie that they're making. So what would you guys, if you could have any Nintendo, I guess, movie
IP?
Yeah. So like,
Sorry, involved in Mario or their own?
I'm saying like, obviously we'll keep it to animation because
that's fine.
I think, but if you could say, hey, I want them to make this movie next, it could be any.
But it's his own movie.
It's his own movie, or it could be connected to Mario. What would you guys choose?
Well, you got to start because you've thought about it longer than us. So
I don't know if I have.
dang it. Okay.
I mean, obviously, I want a Zelda movie.
But do you want it done in the same animation style?
No, I think you can do it in a darker animation, like not as kiddie.
An arcade animation would be cool.
You know, like if you're doing something like that, maybe more anime style would work with Zelda. But if you're gonna go with another Mario thing, I think a really cool way is just to do it like Super Mario Brothers for the Super NES, where you have the Bowser kids show up and you have Yoshi introduced in that one. I think that's the next easily perfect
Did you
way
just
to
say
do
Mario again?
Well, I'm saying no. I said my point is Zelda, but I'm saying if they're going to do the sequel to this, I want them to bring in the Koopa kids.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's no brainer.
100%.
I think that'd be so fun because that brings so much character and a lot of new actors you could bring in to emulate.
Well, it wasn't his piano technically Ludwig it says Ludwig von Beethoven or whatever.
I guess that's true.
But
Yeah.
Ludwig is he's
But that's one of his kids,
Yeah, the crazy hair.
Yeah.
I think the nerd looking one, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think for me, it's Metroid. I want a Metroid,
Metroid would be cool.
movie. I think would be really cool.
In what style? Because I think that'd be a make or break for me.
I would it's easy to say the arcane style, but I think an anime style would be sick.
Okay.
Like a Metroid anime would look good.
Claymation.
Something that you can draw a lot of drama or like feeling from, I think would be really good for that. Because Metroid, I don't know. I think Metroid's a tough sell.
I don't think so. It's a bounty hunter. There's space pirates. It's like Aliens.
But like the character development doesn't feel like ultra strong in that game. Like with not just Samus, but like all other characters. Like I can't think of another character.
Ridley, bro.
That's the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's also
they're
they're
all experiments.
That would be a challenge for that I could see. But yeah, that would be very cool. I mean, it'd be a sick visually. It'd be really dope. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's tough.
Obviously Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
We already saw Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong.
Little punk. Hey, quiet down, Diddy.
There was another guy there
sorry.
too, right? He had like the blue shirt on.
Yeah, he came
He's
in
from
like he's like in 4, isn't he? The baby.
Forgot his name.
Yeah, he's in the Game Boy one.
Yeah. Game Boy Color one.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm kind of almost like, I wish they didn't do Detective Pikachu. So they could do like a Pokemon in their own like animation style and like a 3D version of it. But they already did Detective Pikachu, so no takesies backsies.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan Reynolds. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I just remembered.
Did you say what you wanted?
I was
He
going to
said
say
Metroid.
Metroid.
Oh, okay.
Jack Black says he would like them to get Pedro Pascal to play Wario.
That'd be pretty funny.
Hey, I'm down.
I mean,
he gets to go crazy, dude. That'd be awesome.
he'd be
That'd be pretty awesome.
So that's the other
Who
thing
plays
too.
Waluigi though?
God,
Waluigi
John
doesn't
Leguizamo.
exist. Bro,
John Leguizamo.
Nintendo does not... That's a good casting. Nintendo doesn't like Waluigi.
Haters, dude. They should have put him in Smash Bros.
Yeah, they don't want to. They hate him. It's weird. It's like a blemish to them.
Hey,
Why all the hate?
They act like he doesn't exist. I think they think there was a mistake.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Poor. Maybe that can be a plot point in the movie.
I mean,
Literally, there was like a fan vote on to who they want to add in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Waluigi won, and they just didn't do it.
Oh wow!
Bro, if it's not that
Dang.
obvious, like, bro, they...
I mean, I don't like Waluigi that much.
Sakurai's like, screw that.
Was he
man.
used
No,
as
thank
like some type of special thing?
He was-
though?
He was a trophy.
He's a trophy.
And he
Or a
was
trophy?
only there. I think he was introduced only in like Mario Tennis or something like that,
Yeah.
to where he was only supposed to be the counter to Luigi. Just for like game mechanic wise, and then it became a thing a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, great watch.
Nice. Yeah.
We highly recommend.
Take your
like-
kids, take your family. It's definitely worth it.
Take your kids,
Kids will love it.
take your wife.
Yeah. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Yeah, we're gonna move on to the next thing. Star Wars Celebration happened this weekend, so we got a lot of.
It's very fitting of our 100th episode.
Yeah, because Star Wars.
We planned it out this way.
Big
That's
Star
exactly.
Wars fans here.
So we're just gonna kind of go through stuff, and then if someone remembers something that they saw, go ahead. I think we should start with kind of one of the biggest trailers that was there was the Ahsoka trailer.
Yep.
We finally got our first official look at the Ahsoka Show. Obviously, it feels like a Rebels continuation because it is. But we got to see Sabine. We got to see a little hologram Ezra. Chopper. Hera's in it. We got to see the back of Thrawn's head, unless you were me and you found the other trailer bootleg.
Yeah.
But it looks awesome. And I cannot wait for the show. It comes out this summer, so we don't have to wait that long. What did you guys think? Obviously, I loved it, but what did you guys think? First reactions to the stuff you saw in the Ahsoka trailer.
Yeah, I think it looks really good. It definitely has that same feel, even from the trailer, of the Rebels episodes with Ahsoka and all the team. And after seeing Zeb and Mandalorian, which I don't think he appeared in the trailer, did he?
No.
I'm assuming he'll be there, maybe. But yeah, it makes me want to go watch Rebels again too. But yeah, it looks so good, and the fact that Dave Filoni is running it, and it's his baby, so
he wrote every episode of this.
Yeah, that's good to hear. So
Of course.
yeah, man, the visuals look great. I mean, it really has the same quality as I've come to expect from the Star Wars shows. So yeah, not much bad about it, if not anything, as far as the trailer goes. So yeah, I'm just really excited, and that'll come up really fast. You said August?
Yeah.
That'll be here before you know it.
Yeah, I think for me the coolest thing was seeing the villains.
Yeah,
They look really interesting. It's almost like it looked like she had maybe like a Padawan braid.
Yeah.
So I'm people are speculating maybe they're not Sith, but maybe they're like Jedi, but they're taking in a different direction.
People
kind of
they're
thing.
dark Jedi.
I thought, didn't they say that? Didn't they say that both of them survived Order 66?
I didn't see that.
I thought I read somewhere where they said that they're survivors from Order 66 and they're
heard
working
that.
they're working with Thrawn, but people don't know why. So they're not Inquisitors, but
I think I
they're
heard the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know if that was confirmed.
Might have been in the interviews.
yeah. I don't know if I just read it somewhere. Like someone said that it's Balin and Shin.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. They also have the orange lightsabers, which look cool. People complained like, oh, they're supposed to be red, they're off. And then Filoni said there's a reason why they're that orange. There's
you losers.
something about them that their lightsabers are that way. So
Oh, oops, you're right. We picked the wrong color. Our bad.
Yeah. Because even in the same trailer, you see a Inquisitor.
Yeah.
And you can tell his
Has
lightsaber looks different.
Yeah.
Their last names are Skull and Hati, which are the wolves in Norse mythology that chase the moon. So Filoni's continuing his trend of bringing in wolf iconography, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, lots of video games use that for like weapon names and stuff like that all the time.
But yeah, I think they looked really cool, and their action scenes looked really cool. I think in the panel they emphasized a lot. They specifically were naming their choreographer and stuff like that. So it seems like there's going to be a lot of lightsaber fights, which I feel like is something we've been missing. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, they were saying that this is supposed to be a lot of like prequel level kind of lightsaber choreography.
well, yeah, and Dave Filoni said that his focus is to make it like a samurai. It's a samurai show, so
Like a
you're gonna get a lot of
Kurosawa. Or however you say it. That guy.
Kurosawa? Oh, Kawasaki.
Yeah, thank you.
Kawasaki Ninjas.
Gotcha.
The other thing that obviously got people excited was the line where she drops, the heir to the empire. So
Yeah. He said
yeah,
the thing.
they said that. Yeah. So they also Dave Filoni said that Timothy Zahn has been on set, and they're making sure that he is okay with how they're portraying Thrawn. So that's really cool. I think this show is going to be pretty amazing. Corey, what did you think?
This trailer's got me effed up, baby. I'm so stoked, baby. Let's go. This is what I've been wanting, dude. It's about time we got some Star Wars, some real Star Wars, some lightsabers, okay? Orange? I should have brought my orange lightsaber, bro. I'm so stoked about this, dude.
Yeah.
It, like, gave me vibes of, like, SWTOR. Like, they have different color lightsabers in that game, and that's canon. And so when people are crying about it, I'm like, shove it. It looks dope, okay? Because it introduces the fact that maybe they had pure lightsabers, and then they, like...
They had to bleed them.
They have to bleed them or whatever, infuse them, whatever it is. It's so interesting. It's so cool. The guy's... Balin, you said? His name was?
Yeah.
His armor looks cool.
Yeah, he looks really
and
cool.
Weirdly, like, older. There's so many theories that can come from this trailer that just gives me so excited. Like, seeing the constellation maps in the background of that one fight was so interesting to me. I know people are talking about the world between worlds and stuff like that. But there's like testing, like
Yeah, it
machines.
doesn't look like World Between
It
Worlds.
looked like it was part of the temple.
Was it
there
a projection? Yeah. So it brings up a lot of questions. Like, I'm not too sure what they're going to do in this, but it's just, all the pieces are set up to be awesome. And the fact that Dave Filoni has written every one of these, I'm just so stoked about it. It makes me so excited. And seeing Ezra there, kind of made me realize that his suit was kind of lame. Personally,
It didn't look as good in live action.
It might not be a current holocron where he like talks. It looks like he's just sitting there.
I think it's the message. It's the message he left at the end of Rebels.
Okay, so they're saying he's that age, like
We don't
little
know.
Ezra during Rebels is that big Ezra. Then is that like teenage?
I think that the teenage.
he looks
I think
older
he's like
than
18
teenage.
or something.
He looks like 20s, basically.
He's movie 18.
Yeah.
Sure,
Movie 18, yeah.
The
He's a
actor's
high
like
schooler,
32.
yeah.
He's 35.
I think that's what
Okay.
they said. Where that
he's wearing the exact same thing.
She's rewatching the holocron.
Okay,
for
to, like,
the message
remember him?
he left. The message before, like he tells him, take care of.
Okay.
You know,
So you're saying there's a
Lothal.
chance for him to wear something?
he's not going to be wearing that. I guarantee you, he's going to be. He's going to. I think he's going to have a. I think he's going to have a beard or something. He's going to look cool, dude. He's been in some unknown regions.
Tattered robes.
That's what I think. That's
He's wearing Thrawn's outfit. He beat him up and took it.
That's my speculation. That's my speculation about that one place you're talking about. People said the World Between Worlds. I said no because it was so dark there, and all you had was like white lines that they were walking
and it was
on.
solid ground. I don't know if they'll do an exact replica of what Dave Filoni did in Rebels, because that would be kind of weird.
I think that's what they're gonna do.
Like,
and
like it was
think
like clear glass almost in space is what it looked like, with like teleporters on the end of these trails.
And that place had
think
like
they would actually do
excavation stone and coordinates and stuff. I think what's happening is they don't know where Thrawn is or where Ezra is, and they're trying to get to them.
Yeah.
So what I think is this is wherever they're at is they're calculating how to get to where their Purgles went.
Yeah.
Because no one knows. So that's what I think that area was a place where they're trying to figure out where Thrawn is and how to get to him. Because I don't think they're going to show the World Between Worlds in a trailer. I think that's going to be something that you're just
You think he'll show up?
The World Between Worlds? Heck yeah. I think that's going to be the main part of this Ahsoka story. I think she's going to be going back and forth in time, and they're going to show you stuff.
We talked about this
with Ahsoka. It's in the title of the show. Like you see the World Between Worlds.
It says the World Between Worlds.
No, but you see the iconography there.
Yeah, he translated it.
It's huge.
Ancient Egyptian.
And that's the only way we know Hayden Christensen is in this show as Vader. That's the only way you get to him being in this show is if she's able to go through time and read.
Well, you know that's not right.
Things.
It could be
Force
could be
Ghost.
flashbacks, but yes,
They said it's
she's
Vader.
going to get in a bacta tank. Boom. We all know. There's either the armor's going to be hammering stuff, or she's going to get in a bacta tank. That's the other one.
This is the
World Between Worlds. Bacta tank. Armor. Those are the three flashbacks.
There's no way they don't use it because this is you have the perfect means of doing it, and you've already made it in the universe.
But I don't know if you need to.
I think-
What's the purpose for it?
What do you mean? What's the purpose? She spent years in the World Between Worlds.
Yeah, but the whole point of it was she's like, we can't change anything, so why go back?
Well, no, because I'm not saying she's going back. I'm saying we're gonna see her when she was in the world between worlds. That's what this whole show is about.
I think this is,
and that's where she learns that she can't change anything.
I think this is part of the one concern I have is how does Dave Filoni handle
Corey hates time travel.
if they do time travel? How are they going to handle it in Star Wars? It feels like a very weird thing.
There's going to be a scene just like Groundhog Day where she keeps trying to change stuff and she just keeps dying.
Yeah, however she does it, turns out the same way. Yeah.
That's what it is. She's already made. We already know.
Don't say that's how it is. You don't know.
I do know because I feel like this is exactly what she said. She told Ezra that you can't change anything, and so I think what we're gonna see is her trying to change things, and then.
But why would she try to change things? Because she knows she can't.
Because she learns that in the world between worlds. She doesn't know that until she's tried it. Like Ezra tried it, but she spent time in there, so she knows that she can't change it. So we're gonna see that.
We're seeing. What?
It's not gonna be a straightforward show. I think it's gonna have.
Think it's starting after Ezra goes away. You don't think that's where we start?
I think you're gonna have. Wow. I don't know where it's gonna start, but I think you're gonna have multiple where she's gonna think back to things, and you're gonna see stuff
for sure.
I think it's not going to be
thinking back to these things.
Oh, the thing I'm about to say might be a spoiler of the trailer.
Oh, we don't care. Oh, about that trailer? No, that's fine. They're fine.
Okay, so Sabine. Wait, does this happen in the race with Sabine with the?
Yeah, I mean he leaves his saber.
Yeah. So she ignites.
Wow, thanks guys. All right, Mick, let's get out of here.
He told me to say it.
We normally say spoiler alert for
it's a trailer. You'll see it eventually, guys.
Yeah. Anyways,
it's gonna come out.
Moving on.
Sick. Whatever, dude. It just makes me so pumped, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna get some good lightsabers. Now, along these lines, they announced movies. 3 movies that are supposed to be in production. One of those movies is Dave Filoni's getting his first directorial debut in the movie, and what they said is the movie is going to tie up the Mando story they've been telling. So I'm assuming we're getting another season of Mando, season 4, the Ahsoka season, maybe something else down the line, and then Dave Filoni would finish that whole storyline, which is Thrawn coming in, getting Mando back, all those characters. So I'm really excited for that. I think that's going to be perfect and a great way to finish, a great way to have Din die, Pedro Pascal finally die on the big screen.
Okay.
Because you cry more when it happens in the big screen. At home, nah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
True.
It's true. So what do you guys think of Dave Filoni getting his movie?
Yeah. It's about time.
Hate it.
It's been way too long. He's more than earned a shot at directing his own movie. So I think it's great. And the fact that he's been so highly involved with this timeline between 6 and 7, it's either him or like Jon Favreau or like the perfect person to do it. So, I think it's a really good choice. And I think that's what they said, right? It's going to basically go up right until Force Awakens.
They said when he talked about timeline, he said it's more of a New Republic movie than it is Mando era. So it seems like it'll advance the timeline. So theoretically, we would be closer to Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, but I don't think that much. I'm thinking probably 15 years.
I mean, it's in the title. So, clearly.
Do we know where we are right now, timeline-wise, with this current Mando season?
I don't think we know for sure because...
No, but the New Republic is just kind of starting. It's still kind of...
Right.
So, they haven't really said, but it seems fairly close to when the Empire fell, like a couple years after.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Feels like anyways, because they're still like taking down, like they're destroying the ships.
Right.
And like, so it seems like...
There's still some Empire...
And there's still some around. Empire warlords, so it hasn't been like, it's been 10 years. It seems more like this is like the years after, like 2 or 3 years after.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that I'm more than excited for that. That's going to be really good.
Yeah, and the fact that he gets to kind of handle the whole Thrawn thing, where people were like, they should have had Thrawn, where now you have Dave Filoni handling that storyline and be like, yeah, he's canon now. We can kind of still do those stories. I think obviously they're going to have Luke in his movie. You have to have him. I think that's where you have Han.
Don't say that.
I thought Han was coming out in this season,
guys.
though.
I said it, but
is he writing it too?
yeah, he's in charge of it.
Yeah, they didn't say any other.
It's his movie. He's got to. Yeah. He's got to.
He's got to. Yeah.
He's got to jump in that world between
Yeah,
worlds. If he does it wrong, he'll just go back, change it.
The interview with him and Favreau was really good. I was just like, oh, it's so cool. They're talking about, now that he's had experience with live action, it's like, it's about time to try my hand at it. And Favreau's like, they're just all so stoked. Dude, it gets me so excited for it. But I don't know how far off we are for this one. Did they say like 3 years, 4 years?
Kathleen Kennedy said 6 years. But then in that
I'm
quote,
dead by then, bro.
Dave Filoni said, no, what she meant was like the story is the culmination of these 6 years. So he's like, we've been doing Mando for 3 years. And he's like, this next story is going to be 4. He's like, so by the time the movie comes, it'll be about 6 years. So 2 years, probably people are saying 2 years from now is when the movie will hit.
Yeah, they said 2025 is the earliest we'd see a movie.
Okay.
And Kathleen Kennedy said all development is really far along on all 3 movies.
So I think they're basically setting up these shows to be kind of like, there's the bridge to get to it. And now we got the movie. So I think, in 2 years, we'll probably get the Dave Filoni movie to kind of end.
Now, what all shows are counted? Is it just Mandalorian,
Mando, Ahsoka,
and Ahsoka,
Boba Fett.
or is Boba Fett?
Boba Fett.
Skeleton Crew.
Skeleton Crew will be a part of it. I thought there was one more. I think that's it.
Okay.
Well,
Whatever they announced.
the Rangers of the New Republic or whatever they got
They
canceled.
haven't. So
Okay.
But it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, super stoked for that.
the other 2 movies they announced was one of is a James Mangold. He is doing a First Jedi, so like how the Force came to be. People are saying that was a Taika Waititi movie that now he is.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yes.
Phew.
That's
now-
like the biggest. That's the biggest
one.
Death Star
Glow up,
laser dodge in history.
So here's the thing, because Taika Waititi dropped a poster and it was like Star Wars and it was like on the looked like the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
And so what James Mangold said is like the story of my story is like a biblical epic. It's like the origins of like a Ben-Hur or 10 Commandments. So people are like, it's weird that was Taika Waititi's movie. So why would you make the same movie? And then someone put a tweet out that was like, just like you guys said, like the biggest bullet dodged was Taika Waititi not doing Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy was like, oh no, we're still developing something. He's still working, but she didn't say anything else. But then James Mangold retweeted the thank God Taika Waititi's not doing it, and then he deleted the retweet, but people screenshot it. So they're like, yes. So if that's the case, if Taika's not doing a Star Wars movie and they gave it to James Mangold, I think that's awesome. What do you guys think of the kind of the time period of it, and the idea of a movie about the first Jedi?
I mean, I think it's something that we need in the Star Wars universe because we can't just keep doing the same old, like, oh, these are the 2 eras that we're playing in. Now we can go back, what they say, 25,000 years at the first Jedi, and we can get that story, establish some threads there, and then we can move forward to Old Republic, High Republic. So we have all these timelines that we can, because they laid out whatever 9 time periods that they're like, these are kind of what we will be working in. But yeah, I think it sounds awesome. Just the description of like a biblical epic sounds really cool to me. And then the fact that James Mangold is doing it just gets me really excited to get like a really cool like origin story to like almost like a spiritual story about, how the Jedi came to be. I think that sounds really cool to me.
Yeah.
It's got me effed up, baby. Yo, I love a good origin story, especially this is something that like I feel like you said is kind of a missing piece of the puzzle of, well, how did the first Jedi come to, to pass? That's a super cool, interesting idea. Like, finding this spiritual connection with the Force on accident or through necessity. I don't know, but I want to see that. That sounds so awesome. Sign me up. I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, they should call the movie The Force Awakens.
There you go.
Yep.
Have you seen?
You heard it here first.
Have you seen that video that says that goes through all the? It's like,
ones?
hey, they're all named wrong, and it goes through the whole.
Honestly, it works pretty well.
It does work pretty good.
This is going to be really cool. I love most of James Mangold's movie. I don't think I've seen one that I haven't liked. I mean, he's done some really great movies. He's directing the new Indiana Jones. Hopefully that does pretty well. You know, that's my number one. But yeah, it's a story that I hadn't really thought about, like wanting to see. But I mean, that would just add so much depth and history to the Star Wars universe already that it would just be really, really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about there's an infinite amount of stories you can tell that doesn't affect what's already been done.
Yeah.
And it's still super interesting and like engrossing. And this is one of them. I think there's a huge opportunity there.
Yeah, and I think at the same time, even though it doesn't like affect them, it enhances in a certain way because if you go to The Last Jedi, and I know a lot of people don't like that movie, but it's on Octo, whatever you want to. But that seems to be where the Force started because there's in the temple where Luke's at, there's the kind of the symbol of the first Jedi.
Yeah.
And that's the symbol they used for that.
To name the era.
That era.
Yeah.
So people are like, are we going to go back? Is that what we're going to see? Which would be kind of cool to have a movie set in that area to kind of see this is where it happened. And then if you go back and watch Last Jedi, you're like, oh, I've seen this place 25,000 years before, you know.
Scrimrat killed so-and-so.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Talking about that, the third movie they announced was a movie that I think it was really split between people, whether they liked it or not. But Daisy Ridley is coming back, they announced, and that the new movie is going to take 15 years after The Rise of Skywalker, and it's Rey kind of building up her Jedi
order, whatever you want to, the equivalent
school, whatever.
Jedi
that's all they announced. They didn't say anything else. We don't know if Finn's going to be there. We don't know anything else. What do you guys think about that? I like Rey. I know around this table there are people that don't like the sequel trilogy. I'm okay with it. There's things I really like about it. I really like Rey as a character, even though some people don't like Rey Palpatine, Rey Skywalker. To me, she's Rey Skywalker. She's a Skywalker. Deal with it. So I'm excited for this movie. What do you guys think?
Deal with it, Mick.
I didn't say anything.
I am also excited for this movie.
Yeah, too.
I think it'll be. We kind of missed out on seeing the Luke rebuilding the Jedi Academy. Who knows? We might see that in other shows, like in the World Between Worlds. And that's the Ahsoka Show. But it'll be cool to kind of see that story move along. I enjoy the sequel trilogy. Obviously, they missed opportunities. They should have planned it out. You know, you can say all these things about like how it wasn't executed correctly, but I still enjoy the characters that came out of it. So I still really enjoy Rey. If we get Finn back and we actually explore him being a Jedi and being Force sensitive, then I think that kind of rights some of the wrongs that happened in the sequel trilogy. So yeah, I'm excited for it. And I think, the story needs to continue at some point. So why not pick up 15 years later? I say, well, let's do it.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
But it needs to be
honest.
It needs to
you
be
hate this idea, Mick. You will hate this idea.
It wasn't a movie that I was looking for. I think there's a lot of other movies that they could do that I think would be way more interesting, way more exciting. I think it's probably better that they are doing like 15 years away from Rise of Skywalker. That's probably a good thing. But it just makes me... I have my issues with those last two movies, and one of them is that Kylo Ren dies. I think it would have been much more interesting if we got a movie with him and dealing with all of his stuff, all the stuff that he has to deal with.
Bringing him back in the movie.
Do I have a rumor for you? A rumor is that they're thinking of bringing Kylo Ren back, Ben Solo back.
Clone.
Somehow.
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren returns.
They, as in the fans who made up that rumor.
Yeah, probably. But there's
It's all good.
someone said, "Oh, Lucasfilm was considering this," so people run with it.
Sources say Blu-ray Angel.
All I have to say is sources say that this
I
might happen.
swear some of these sources he gets is just what he wants to happen. I'm just joking.
I've got a lot of sources.
It's all his
None of them
burner,
are credible, but
burner account.
they're
Hey,
sources.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. We're not here for credibility. We're here for hype and fun.
Exactly.
and excitement.
Exactly. That's why we made it to 100 episodes.
That's right.
But no, I'm always gonna root for a Star Wars movie. I hope it does well. I hope it's interesting. I think there is a story there that can be interesting. I do have issues with some of her characteristics in the last two movies specifically. I really enjoyed her character in The Force Awakens. I thought she was great. Not so much in the last two, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want it to be just another repeat of, what's happened with Luke and his stuff. That would just seem old. So they would have to do something new. Hopefully it's different enough where it's interesting and cool. So
When they say who's writing it,
They announced the director.
yeah. When they
And
say who's writing it,
I think she did do.
she did some TV.
She did She did a couple episodes of Miss Marvel. But she's like
baby.
she's an Academy Award winning or nominated director for documentaries. Her name
It'd be a
is
documentary
That's a
style.
director. That's a director.
I think she might be writing it though.
The trilogy.
Charmine.
No, it's not a
Obey-
trilogy.
Oh,
it's
it's
just
a
one
shit.
movie.
It's a
They just
one-off?
announced one movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
I assume there's more planned,
Probably
but
like a test the
this
waters
is
kind of thing.
it's the same thing with the Dave Filoni one.
If they bring Finn back to like a prominent character and also make him force sensitive,
Which they kind
it's
of
got me effed up, baby. We got
Yeah.
this. Let's go. I'm down, bro. I'm down. I like Ray. I know it's a pretty unpopular opinion, but I think
If you're
there's
sexist.
I think there's a lot of potential. Nice, dude. Nice. Shots fired. I think there's a lot of potential with her. I think she's a
Yeah, she's
cool
great.
character. I really liked her character in the movies. I don't think they did her story correctly. I think they kind of dropped the ball a lot. I think they also dropped the ball with a lot of different things like Kylo Ren and stuff like that. And also Luke Skywalker. But hey, I think that 15 years, that's a huge gap. And they get to kind of,
Reset.
absorb all that stuff we talked about, understand the mistakes they made before, and I'm sure they'll make something better, hopefully. Knock on wood, So
I'll do
I'm
that,
down.
yeah.
I'm down.
nice.
What was the other one?
So those are the movies they announced.
We had Acolyte, but we knew
Yeah,
about
the show.
Acolyte. That's the
We didn't see any
Yeah,
trailer.
just a new
Apparently, they showed a
logo.
trailer.
You
but
didn't see
yeah,
the bootleg trailer?
I didn't look for it.
They said that one sounds exciting because it's kind of a High Republic time.
And it focused on the villains.
It's focused on the villains.
Yeah.
And then they said there was they specifically named two of the choreographers, like they're a big part of the show. So basically there's a lot of what they were saying was it seems like there's going to be a lot of fighting.
Yeah.
I think in the trailer they said there was a lot of lightsaber fighting. So I think we're going to get
Which is so interesting because I thought they sold that as like a CSI, like
They did at first. It was like it was going to be like a
crime
detective.
solve, detective kind of thing. Like,
Yeah. So,
so
it'll be
is that
interesting.
changed?
No, I think they probably still have that, but it's going to be more like
Instead of gunfights,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
lightsaber fights.
The other show they kind of talked about was Skeleton Crew. A little more
What did they
came out
say?
about that.
Was the Jedi Master in that one?
So yeah, the guy that
Who was
played the
cast
guy
for
that's
it?
the teacher, that's Gryffindor, not Gryffindor, Dumbledore.
Jude
Jude Law.
Jude Law,
Apparently,
yeah.
he's a Jedi.
They said he was Jedi Master.
Yeah,
That's what they said.
Oh, did they?
Verbatim. Yes.
yeah. So I don't know how that works.
I thought they were talking about Michael Gambit.
Technically, we've had a lot of people that have survived Order 66, which is fine. There's a lot of Jedi out
It
there.
makes sense, bro. Not every Jedi is going to have stormtroopers with them.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
that
that
that one will
makes
be
sense.
interesting.
When does that one take place?
Oh, Mando time.
Mando time.
Yeah, it's because it's supposed to be part
Apparently,
of that story.
some people were saying that the school on Grief Karga's planet, Navarro, that's the school where Skeleton Crew, those kids are going to be from.
Oh.
Because the kids get lost in space. So that might be a way they tie it in. But so yeah, that's the shows. There was an announcement, just real quick. The Bad Batch.
By the way, about that show, it sounds pretty interesting. They described it as like a Goonies kind of, Steven Spielberg 80s adventure show. So if you guys like that type of thing. Hey, you guys. That's Jude Law's character.
Let's have Short Round in there. They could have him.
They probably will. Two of the directors of Everything Everywhere All at Once are directing episodes.
Oh, that's
for
right. They are, yeah.
Skeleton Crew.
Wow.
How awesome would it be to see him as a Jedi?
Oh,
That guy? No, I wouldn't want to
freaking-
see him.
Short Round?
No.
no,
What? Oh, come on.
His voice does not sound like a
dude,
Jedi
yeah.
Master.
the guy from Squid Game. I don't know his name.
Yeah,
but the main character.
He's in the Acolyte.
he's
gonna
in
be
the Acolyte.
bad
That's
guy,
right.
yes.
That's right.
Yeah, Short Round as a Jedi would be like
come
the
on.
lamest thing ever.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
Oscar
why,
winning
John?
actor
Why?
right there.
I already said because his voice just sounds.
What's wrong with his
it's
voice?
it's really pretty goofy. He still
Wow.
sounds like
Interesting.
he still sounds like an 8-year-old from Indiana Jones. He does.
That's what you want. Yoda
don't
sounds
want
like
a
a backwards puppet.
No,
What are you
I'm
talking
sorry.
about?
I'm sorry. I don't want him to be like.
A backwards miss.
Don't do
Now,
it.
do you feel?
Is that
good
100th
We
about-
did
episode,
cancel on
guys.
our 100th episode. This guy.
Okay,
My
let's go to
God.
the next.
I love his voice.
Just in case he's listening, we like your voice.
We do. We love you as a person.
Yeah, we
it's
do.
great. The Bad Batch. They announced the third and
said that
final
so
season is going to happen. They showed a trailer. I didn't watch it.
Which we knew.
Because there's a bootleg trailer. So we're gonna find out. I don't think we need to talk much about that. Just that,
Nah.
it's coming to an end. Obviously,
knew-
they have
we knew
other
that.
plans for animation. They're talking about some of those characters might go off into a new show, maybe following Rex or something. So that would be kind of interesting. But we're gonna get the end of the Bad Batch next year. Visions. We got a
Yeah.
trailer for Visions season 2, which drops in a couple weeks.
Yeah, in May.
May the 4th.
Dude, yeah, it's coming up quick, and it looks like there's a huge variety of animation styles.
Yeah.
Like Visions, the first set was like there were some that were similar to each other and more like generically anime style, like Japanese anime style. These are like all over the place.
Yeah.
Like global. Like,
Yeah,
this
I have the
is
list.
crazy.
You guys want me to go through it? So I'll just go through the episode list and who's making them. So Sith from El Guiri, which is in Spain. And then the director is from Troll Hunters. Screecher's Reach from Cartoon Saloon, Ireland. In the Stars from Punk Robot in Chile. I Am Your Mother from Aardman, United Kingdom.
Let's go, Claymation, baby.
Journey to the Dark Head from Studio Mur, South Korea. The Spy Dancer from Studio La Cachette, France. The Bandits of Golok from 88 Pictures, India. The Pit from The Art Shintaho, Japan.
Saw like one of those. No, I'm just kidding.
And Ao's Song from Triggerfish, South Africa.
I thought you were about to say Trigger. Oh, that would have been sick. Yeah, and kind of watching that trailer, were there any that caught your eye specifically? if you
Dude,
guys
Wallace and
remember?
Gromit. Let's go.
Claymation
Let's
one?
go.
I am
There
your
were a
mother.
bunch that were cool. There were, the opening one where the guy has a lightsaber and he goes through, that one looked really cool. The one where the TIE fighter's coming in and the kid puts his hand up. That animation looks
was cool.
really cool.
Yeah, that looks like Kubo and the Two Strings
Yeah.
almost. Like almost not claymation, but stop motion.
Yeah.
Stop
almost
motion,
looks like
computer generated
Yeah.
3D. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like emulated stop
Yeah.
motion.
This this trailer
Which I'm
I thought
more okay
was
with, by the way. I
this
like that.
this trailer I thought looked a lot cooler and there was more interesting styles than the first season. So
Hard to disagree, but I think
For
think,
me.
I think there's validity. I think this one has more variance.
Yeah.
So it's going to attract a whole wider range of audience. I think that's the best thing about this. Because if you don't like anime, like the first one was like basically all anime styles. So almost all of them were for Japan. So Bree's going to be less excited because
not
she
as much.
doesn't,
Yeah.
she doesn't know that. I told her, I was like, oh, Visions 2, they released something. She's like, awesome.
She's gonna like
I
one
can't
or
wait
two.
to watch it with you.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be like, there's only one animation, like anime style. So, but I think it's cool. I think why not? Let's see it. This sounds awesome and it looks cool. Yeah, I think it's all positive to have different art styles.
Yeah, for me, I'm such a sucker for animation anyway. So any different style I enjoy, and just getting like the different kind of perspectives of the different
Like their
studios.
takes on Star Wars.
I thought the India one looked cool. Like you could almost see like with the aesthetic of it. I think they even said that they were like basing it a lot on Indian culture, but it was. I thought that it looked almost like CGI ish. I thought that one looked really cool. I'm excited for the Cartoon Saloon one. That one, that one looks cool, and I like the style. Some of the other movies they've done look really cool, so I like that cartoon style.
For the first season, did they just do the whole? Did they just?
It just
release
dropped
the whole season.
Yeah, they drop them all.
Yep.
Okay.
They're doing the
I'm
same
assuming
thing
they're
with
doing
this,
that
yeah.
for this.
I'm
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I just like seeing out of left field just what their story takes on it. Like, it's so cool. It's just an interesting, fun. You don't have to take it seriously. Just like be there to see what there is, and if you like any of them, cool. If you don't, whatever. Skip to the next one. But how many were there? Like
9.
9. Yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah. Did they have? They probably didn't release any like run times
No.
or anything like that. Because
I'm assuming it's going to be from 10 to 20 minutes.
That's my only
each
thing I didn't like is how short those first ones were. It was pretty brutal. On some of those were like sub 10, wasn't there? It wasn't like a 9-minute one. It was so short.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hi, Visions 2, and that comes out soon. So we'll have something to talk about, guys. It'll be awesome.
Was there anything else celebration you guys? They're doing the Return of the Jedi re-release in theaters.
Yeah, 40th year, right?
Yeah. It's just cool to see. I don't know if you guys watched like any of the okay, so you guys watched some of it. Just so cool to see like Hayden Christensen come up and just the crowd just cheering for him so hard, and you can see his like
Tearing
welling
up. Yeah.
And it's just awesome to see the passion and like the reciprocated love for the IP.
Yeah.
Only at Star Wars Celebration does this happen, but I saw this one short video. They're on this bridge, and there's just two different groups of Jedis and then Sith guys just dressed up. This just happened in the town there, and they're like, and they just like run at each other like fighting, and some guy on his cell phone is just recording it from the ground. He just seeing all these lights here with the light effects.
Well, it's like even
It's so awesome, dude.
There's like a bunch of people that dressed up as Andor inmates.
Oh, nice.
And so they were just running around going, one way out, one way. And like everyone's just filming them as they're running around the convention. Like, and one guy's got like a floaty device around him.
Didn't someone say it like when they're on stage too? I think someone did.
I think they brought him up when
Andy
during the
Serkis
Andor. They
chanted
brought
it.
him
I thought
up.
Andy Serkis said
And
it.
they all took a picture.
That's so awesome.
Apparently, Andy Serkis is back for season 2 of
Yeah.
Andor. So spoiler alert, he
did they?
survived.
They said something like maybe the water wasn't so deep or something like that. Someone said something alluding to that.
Well, Andor
Like-
season 2 is ruined.
It is.
Oh.
It's a dumb show. They announced Tales of the Jedi season 2,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Those are the Jedi.
and then there's the Young Jedi Adventures. I don't. He's.
Oh yeah.
Are you
It was
gonna
a
have Maya
3D,
watch those?
like kids show.
Yeah. Gonna get the Lego set
So
though, for sure.
we'll be doing deep dives every week.
That's
on
right.
it.
I can't wait to get upset about it. That's ridiculous.
this is so
What is he doing?
stupid.
Yoda would never do that. Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you, I'm getting that Lego set because it's Yoda with the young robes. He's got the white robes.
High Republic. Yeah,
Gotta drop $30 for that minifigure.
it's 40, sucker.
All right, we're running out of time here. We still got to get to the Mando episode.
Yeah.
But we can do
Episode
that pretty quick.
Well, yeah,
right,
this
guys?
was going to be pretty quick.
Yeah.
Mando
Real
episode 22, which was last week's. I'm going to tell you guys right now, this might be my least favorite Mando episode out of all 3 seasons.
Sure.
And it wasn't bad, but I just feel like for the 3rd episode, it was I was expecting something more.
Yeah.
And when I finished, it's the first time I kind of like scratched my head, like, did I like that? I'm fine with the Jack Black and Lizzo and like cameos of people, but to me, it's like, it just took me out of it because it was like I was like, that's Jack Black. And I kept expecting Lizzo to get out a flute and it's about dang time, something like that.
Yeah.
And I like the Christopher Lloyd character, but I just felt like the ending of it where they go actually with the Mandos and there's a little scuffle and she gets the Darksaber, I was like, that was cool, but I felt like we did nothing for the 30 minutes that they were just like running around. So I didn't like it for that reason. Some cool things happened with the droids as far as like it felt like a Clone Wars episode, but I was like, for what this was billed to be like, hey, we're getting down to the end of the season, it just felt like a really weird episode to me.
Yeah.
Here's a positive about the episode.
Grogu's really good at...
I thought you were just gonna like not say anything.
That would be funny.
Here's a positive,
And he just doesn't say anything.
and now the negative.
Every other...
That'd be funny.
So Boba Fett, the Obi-Wan show, they should take some notes about how to do a foot chase, because I do like the chase that happened in this episode with them chasing down the droid. I thought that felt good. It felt fast. The diving through the windows, all that.
Yeah,
They
that's
even
cool.
like had, I think, a little making fun of the whole scooter things. They passed by some scooters.
Oh yeah, they're the same scooters. They're just
that
white.
aren't colored, and they just didn't use them. So I thought that was funny. But yeah, other than that, I felt the exact same way. It was like, I don't know how I felt about it. It felt the most cartoony out of all the episodes. It was weird having 3 guest stars in one episode. It felt so weird to me.
Yeah.
It just really took me out. But then the last part of the episode was really cool. It just really felt like we were just waiting in the water until we had to get to that point in the story. But you know, it really was not that great of an episode in my opinion, which is a bummer because, like you said, it was like the last episode we had. It really felt like, okay, we're finally getting
We can get
going
these
somewhere.
let's get these
And
Mandos
the
back
season-
together.
Yeah, and then we hit a brick wall of like, okay,
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
we're not like going anywhere right now. But yeah, I mean, I hope the next 2 episodes are worthwhile because I've kind of been a little disappointed in this third season.
Go ahead, Chip.
How dare you? This is the best episode of the Mando ever. No, I probably like it.
Why are you lying, liar?
No, I agree. It's probably my least favorite episode. There were still a lot of things I enjoyed about it. It just felt very uneven. So like I really enjoyed the callback to Queel with the Ugnaughts.
Yeah, that was cool.
I thought that was a really cool moment to kind of bring it back, and we're seeing how Mando's kind of learned
I have
different
spoken.
cultures. That kind of stuff was cool. I really enjoyed like the buddy cop detectives aspect of it, like them investigating stuff. I thought that was cool. And then I liked the end part. The in-between stuff with Jack Black and Lizzo, it felt weird to me. And I feel like my main complaint is that I don't like where this episode was placed in the season. Because it's like you said, we had this end at last season, or last episode, and we're like, what are we going to do next? And then we're like, we're just this random adventure.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we're going to get the Darksaber stuff and, move the plot forward a little bit. I feel like if they would have just given us this episode, some other time in the season, I probably would have been more okay with it.
I think so.
But it's just the fact that we're like, oh, we only have 3 episodes left. We got to get going. And then it felt like really kind of uneven for me. But yeah, like I said, overall, there was some stuff that I really enjoyed the chase too. Seeing Mando kick down the droids was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Just kicking everyone. Yeah. But yeah, very strange. I'm not a huge fan of. I love Jack Black. Not a huge fan of his character in this.
No.
It was just. I appreciate seeing different cultures and different planets and stuff like that. But yeah, I think just the placement of this episode kind of was like, I would have preferred it earlier in the season or something like that, when I feel like the stakes shouldn't have been as high or whatever.
Well, even just just really quick, the Jack Black, he's a Imperial.
Yeah, he's part of the amnesty program.
And I'm like, the way he acts, I'm like, I cannot see an Imperial officer acting like Jack Black did in that episode. All the other ones of Captain Nita and all these people are like all like buttoned up, and then he's like, it's just like,
Yeah, he's a pretty chill dude.
I mean, when he was under the Imperial, he wasn't acting like that under the Empire, dude.
Now he's been able to
He's
let
been
loose.
released.
He's let loose.
yeah, I don't know. It was just weird to me. It didn't land.
He would fit perfectly in one of the Clone War episodes or one of the Rebels episodes.
I could, who I could see him as Bowser. you know. But
I couldn't. No, wouldn't work.
what did you think, Corey?
Oh, it's the worst episode for sure. It was so bad. Like Lizzo's acting, it actually, you know, like when people get married and they do their little vows, it's like someone like told her her lines and she was repeating after them, like right after. Like the lines were not emotion filled at all. She's a singer, for goodness sakes. Her acting was not there. Jack's lines, I don't know, his character just was so weird to me. I didn't believe it. It felt like a very fake town. Yeah. Like the way that it was modeled, the whole scenery didn't match up at all. Like it was so weird. There was no like culture like to it. Like it all felt very random. It's like almost like Lizzo was like, I want to wear this, and it's like Jack's Black. Like they're like, oh, okay, we're gonna do this like weird croquet game. It's like cool, that's
it was
fine.
Like Alice in Wonderland,
and then it felt Alice in Wonderland, and then we get into the town, and all of a sudden we're in a CSI Miami episode, and like I like the idea of solving a crime, but dude, it was so fast and it was so obvious, and it was like CSI Miami is better than what we saw. Like at least there's at least a twist. Like we all knew what was happening in that episode. Like there was no like, oh my gosh,
they bring in this guest star who could be the villain.
Oh my gosh,
it's
such a surprise. And the end felt like a Scooby Doo episode where it's like,
they got if it weren't for these guys,
now you got me. It just felt ill-inspired, and the best part about it was maybe the ending, I guess, or with the other Mandalorians.
Yeah.
But it felt like this weird roundabout quest that you'd find in a game that was an annoying quest that you had to do. Maybe I agree they improved on the framing and the cinematography for a chase scene. I think that's probably the best thing. Yeah. And also seeing Grogu like be like, hey, I'll help you cheat. That's about it. So those two things, and then the end, those are okay. Also, the technicality some at the end where it's like, well, technically she beat me because she saved me. That was fine. And that's kind of how the history of the Darksabers happened. A lot of those, you know, technicalities. Oh, hey, she technically beat me because she saved me or whatever. Beat the person who beat me, whatever.
It was very
she saved.
It's fine. It just wasn't the level of cool and epic that I expected. We're going to go unite the Mandalorians. Let's freaking go. Like, it just felt flat, and it was just, there's a lot of things that didn't work for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was thinking about it. One of the things that I would have changed is not have any humans in that city and have it be a city ran by entirely droids. I think would have.
So Jack Black as a droid?
You can still have them do the voices, but I'm saying like that would have been kind of something that's more unique as opposed to like, oh, we're just a bunch of rich people that the droids do everything. I was like, what if it was a place that was just droids that they're like, we're independent. Because they played that with Star Wars where like droids seeking their independence. There's this planet that's basically run by droids.
Yeah.
And you can still have Christopher Lloyd be like the only human there. Like kind of do something interesting with that. But I just feel like those characters took me out of it completely. Again, I didn't like it.
The story premise just felt weak.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like it was an afterthought. Like, hey, what do we need to do something to fill in 30 minutes.
That's what it felt like to me. Yeah.
Yeah. So it didn't work. Good news though, they showed the next episode for Mando at Celebration, and people said it's one of the best episodes, and
they said Jack Black's way better in this episode.
He really improved a lot.
They said it's pretty insane.
Master.
And Dave Filoni wrote this next episode, helped write this next episode.
This one that we just saw.
I don't know.
Probably Favreau, I would imagine.
Favreau.
Man, dropping the ball.
But yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard directed it.
Yeah, this is her
That was really disappointing because
it's
not her fault though. She didn't write it.
No.
Her directing was good though. You said the chasing was a lot better.
Yeah, but Jack Black, come on.
Yeah, but she doesn't choose who
casting.
She directs the performance.
Oh yeah, but at some point,
try telling Jack Black to stop being Jack Black,
or Lizzo to deliver better lines.
She's a singer,
Yeah, I will say, 22 episodes, and this is the first one that I've been like meh about. I mean, that's a pretty good run, I would say.
Yeah, no, the whole show's really.
I actively didn't like it. It would be like a sub 5 for me personally. But that's, you're right.
But out of 22 episodes,
that's pretty good.
You're right.
That's pretty good.
This is the first time I was angry I stayed up to watch
You
it.
stayed up for it?
Because I was tired and I got done and I was like, what did I just, this was done. Like,
Yeah.
I was upset. I went to bed.
That's your fault.
I didn't tweet anything. Normally I'm like, Amanda was great. I'm so happy I was up at 1 a.m.
to see it before you suckers.
And then this time I was like, meh. So, yeah. But yeah, apparently the episode tomorrow is fantastic.
All right.
I got spoiled a little bit.
Okay, just don't
We won't spoil it here.
You got
So,
just a day.
Is there anything else you guys want to say before we call it?
No.
I think just a thank you for everyone listening and watching and hanging out with us. It's not easy doing it every week. I think sometimes life gets in the way, and we've taken weeks off.
I mean, I get sick of looking at Jonah's face
Yeah.
every week. So.
It's true.
Yeah, but thanks out there. I know whatever views we get and listens, it's awesome. But we're just happy to hang out with each other.
Yeah, I think that's been one of the cool things is when we got together to do this, it was like, can we figure out an excuse to get away from our lives for a little bit and kind of just hang out and talk about stuff we enjoy talking about. So the fact that people listen is really awesome, and the fact that we've been able to get to 100 episodes is really cool. So we appreciate you guys listening, and I appreciate you guys hanging out and, like Josh says, putting up with me and my opinions and my ugly mug. So yeah, awesome. Anything else? We good?
That's it.
All right. We will be back next week with an awesome Mando episode, apparently. Whatever else comes out, we will be covering it here. Thank you so much for hanging out. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and we will be back next week with more. And see you later.
See ya.